What's poppin', y'all? A rage bait clip really just sent us for a spin because Akademiks decided to go back and forth on live with a chick that he accused of escorting. And this whole saga between Akademiks and this chick who's a streamer started from this Floyd Mayweather clip that I'm going to play you guys right now.
Ew. Oh, what is Floyd? Huh? It is Floyd Mayweather. What is Floyd? Huh? I thought they were tripping. They said, is that Floyd Mayweather in the back? Oh my god. Huh? That's somebody you should ask to be in your stream. Not gonna lie.
Oh, I low-key want to, but like it's a hell of people. I'm scared.
I think he'd be doing like that though.
No, I'm too shy.
It's Floyd Mayweather. He's not gonna knock you out. Huh?
Oh, I have a boyfriend.
So what?
So what? Oh, no, it's okay. I'm not
Just
interested.
be your friend. Being your friend. Being your friend.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that. What's your name?
Huh?
What's your name?
My name is Maya, but I have a boyfriend.
Say your name again?
Maya.
Maya.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Thank you. Oh man. I hope that doesn't get clipped. That's
So this girl is a streamer. She was live. Floyd was, he called out to her. She denied Floyd, and then her quote-unquote boyfriend, who she's referring to like I got a man, was No Cap. No Cap was too embarrassed. No Cap, who's a rapper that's signed to YoungBoy. Very, very, very skilled rapper. He's got great punchlines. He's got great bars too. He pretty much said, yo, that ain't my girl. Like, you go out there and do what you do. Now, a couple weeks later, well, actually, it's been over a month. This happened sometime last year. This rage bait clip starts surfacing and Akademiks reacts to it. And I'm going to play it for you guys right now.
I'm speaking from experience because that's normal for me. So if it's normal for you, then that's not my problem. That's your problem. So if y'all don't like what
She want a
I
nigga that make 60K to 100K a month. Let her say what she say. Over.
that's
yeah.
for me, not for you.
That's for her to like.
I'm not
How
dating
y'all mad
y'all.
because somebody else got a standard? Like any other famous person.
That's your standard is my standard.
How much a man gotta make for you to take them serious? How much a month?
Over 6 figures a month.
I was just about to say, yeah, she's high maintenance, y'all. So I'll do over 6 figures a month. I took a shot at that.
Now, there is no winning with a clip like this because, keep in mind, Clippers took this, I wouldn't say they took this out of context. There was, these chicks were on a trip in Turks, one of these islands that I don't know why people are so obsessed with them. So it was a trip that they were on for one of these islands. And when you have a clip where a chick is being asked, oh, how much money does this guy have to make? It will always be clipped with crazy responses. Because if she says a very low amount, they're going to say, man, she capping, she lying, look at her dating history, blah, blah, blah. If she says a high amount, they're going to say, man, these are crazy expectations. This is unrealistic. Like, most people can't do this. So you cannot win. You can't win. Now, if you want a clip, this is great. But Akademiks reacts to this because she said 100K a month. And also, there's another aspect of they have no idea. If you ask certain, especially where certain guys are like frauding, if you ask them how much they think this guy makes, just looking at an Instagram profile, they would say a random number because they don't really know. And they would be off by a lot. Sometimes they grossly overestimate how much someone makes. It's usually an overestimation because if they think the guy's got like a whip or something like that, then they'll assume, okay, this person must have a lot of money. It's not like, oh, this person's probably making between $350,000 to $500,000 based on X, Y, and Z. No, it's like a vibe thing. It's like, oh, yeah, there's a car and a condo. This must be like a millionaire. It just is what it is. So Akademiks reacts to it. I'm going to play you guys that clip right now.
How much a man gotta make for you to take them serious? How much a month?
Over 6 figures a month.
I was just about to say,
And keep in mind, these girls are like under 25. They have a little bit of following on social media. Guys are flying them out left and right. These girls, when they're popping this type of shit, the guys who got the money, fly them out. Maybe they think a bag is cool. I ain't buying no bitch no bag, but whatever. Like they're hypnotized by money. You fuck them for a week and you send them back. And they sit there, post a bunch of pictures of places you've been, you live in, cars you drive, and they get back on the track and wait for the other millionaire to fly them out. Like, it's kind of a sad life. I don't know how they make it look so lit. They make it look so lit. Like, yeah, you got to make this amount of money. Chat, these are the women you do not take serious. Like come on. Like, a woman that gives the criteria of how much you need to make, you don't take serious, period, right?
Now, I do think the criteria of how much someone makes should 100% be taken seriously. It's like, I don't think that's a good dismissal, because if like marriage isn't one of the biggest reasons for divorce financial reasons. So if one of the biggest reasons is financial, and you are going to go into a damn near a business partnership legally with somebody because you're going to take them serious and you're going to marry them, then yes, finances is very important, and you should know how much she expects you to make, because if she expects a certain lifestyle, then that's not going to work. And same thing with the woman. Like, if she comes in with a ton of debt and does not have much of an income and expects, let's just say she continues working. She could never pay off the debt that she has. Now you're inheriting that debt. Well, maybe you don't want that. So I don't think that's a way to dismiss it, but I get what he's talking about. He's basically saying, these types of girls, which it is what it is. But this girl, Summyah, she responds and she says, "This gay B don't know what I do or what I got. You the kind of person women need to stay away from, gossiping fat B. If my homegirl wants that, maybe she got somebody doing that." I don't think anybody said that she doesn't have somebody doing that. They're not surprised. And now, is the person that's doing that claiming her homegirl and parading her around? I don't know. And then she goes on and says, "I don't give a F what Gummy Bear gotta say. He only try to please men anyway. He need to wipe his mouth." This is funny because what is he supposed to try to please? His audience is majority men. So if he's pleasing them, he is doing his job. So what is he supposed to do? Be pleasing women like you that don't watch him and that don't contribute to him and don't do anything for him, really? How does that make sense? It doesn't make sense because she's not making any sense here. So what continues is Akademiks then leaks a bit of information and talks about what other guys are saying about her in this clip that I'm going to play for you guys right now.
If nobody's going to tell you this, Summyah, I'll tell you. You're the number one thought on the celebrity T app. Everybody's trading stories about you. This is why No Cap ain't want to claim you as his girl. No Cap was over here when people kept saying that's his girlfriend, and when people saw the clip of you and they said Floyd was getting at you and you turned him down because you're No Cap's girl. You know why No Cap tweeted that out? Because it's embarrassing being with the local thought. Nobody wants to walk in the spot holding her hand when everybody said, "Oh, I fucked. Oh, I did this. She's around me. She texted me. She DM'd me. I brought her on a trip. She did this. I seen her here. I seen her there." Nobody likes that. Even the guys that you are trying to brag about that earn $100K. You number one on that T app. They got mad comments on you. Okay? Now, again, I'm going to keep it light. And, in reality, for a chick like this, I've seen it before. And because I'm a man that has, I have age and experience on most of the people I'm talking to. I'm not getting soft, but I'm also realizing that what do you expect a dumb 20-year-old to do? Right? She's getting the most amount of attention. She probably feels like this shit. And in all of these cases, time is always going to be the thing that makes me the winner. Because right now, trust me, the other rappers are inquiring about you like you're like the newest Ferrari truck. Yo, what's up with her? Yo, she got good head? Yo, they're doing Yelp reviews on you. I don't know if you know this. Like, no one's saying, "Oh, is she fun to hang out with at a vacation?" This is how the conversation. Yo, Summyah, yo, she fire? Nah. Yo, how's the head? Yo, she free? She like girls? Yo, this tight? That's how the conversations is happening about you, gang. Oh, they didn't tell you. This is why No Cap was embarrassed. Even when you were staying at his house, he's embarrassed. You're staying at his house. He left to go f some other bitch or whatever. He's embarrassed to say, "Oh, that's my girlfriend." And I ain't gonna lie, I do think he likes you. But he's embarrassed. Trippie Redd just brought you on a trip. You know what he responded to No Cap with? NDA. Nobody wants to be like, listen, you're the modern day Selena Powell, Superhead. We've had so many different examples. Superhead, Cat Stacks, Ruby Rose, you're just another one of them.
Yeah, this is, he is right. Academics is 100% right in that the reaction by No Cap was a bit odd for most of us because a lot of people were saying, like, yo, she just denied Floyd Mayweather. Doesn't that mean she's really loyal to you? But if she was getting out here ran through by all these other rappers and No Cap is like, yo, I'm not claiming her. Like, yeah, you could be with me behind the scenes, but if we're talking publicly, like, no, you are not my chick. You do what you do, then that's a difficult situation to be in. And also, yeah, she's young and she's just getting free stuff thrown at her. It's like, why wouldn't she take the free stuff? The question comes in whether or not she is pretty much throwing box in exchange for all of this stuff. And he starts calling her the escort, or saying like there's a lot of chicks like her that are escorting. And she wants to hop on stream with Akademiks. So she does just that. And then she explains from her perspective what he got wrong. And I'm going to play that for you guys right now.
My homegirl, I told her stand on what she said, period, point blank. But I said 6 figures a year. You're putting words in my mouth. You're reacting. You spinning a narrative saying escort this, escort that. She gonna hop on, talk to this rapper, that rapper. That's you drawing a line.
Wait. Could we speak about that? Do you know what an escort is?
For money. Who for money?
Not necessarily. That's not exactly what an escort is. An escort is someone who you're paying for their time. It could be going to trip.
Well, it doesn't matter. Okay, nobody had to fuck to do anything, is what I'm saying.
Okay, perfect. So now, and I'm glad you came on here to engage because we'll see if you're contradictory. You just went on a trip, and Trippie Redd seemed to be on it. Did you pay for it?
No, I didn't pay for it.
Why were you on the trip?
So I could stream? Why? Like, it doesn't matter. But that question doesn't matter. But I streamed. You see how you knew I was there? Because I was streaming and it was videos. Like, it wasn't that serious. It wasn't that big of a deal. But for you to say escort is a bit much. It's a bit much. Nobody had to fuck or suck dick to be in Turks, as you said.
Well, I'm gonna help you explain it with a definition of it. Would you say that Trippie brought you on that trip to spend time with you, or do you think he paid for the trip for you to come?
I'm not here to answer those questions. I'm not here to answer those questions.
Well, you got to answer that question first to figure out if you or what we've seen would fit under the definition of escorting. For example, if I book an expensive dinner,
I can't tell you what somebody else think. Like, I'm not here to answer those questions. I'm here to ask you why the fuck you think it's okay to say the shit that you're saying. Like, what the hell?
So let's address the first point. Is she defended her homegirl saying $100K a month, and then she goes on and says, oh, for me, it would be $100K a year. This is where you have to take things just a bit of just one tiny layer deeper. If someone is earning $100K a year, that is a good income. They are probably working a job. When does somebody who is working a job ever encounter Summyah? Like, where is Summyah? She's on private jets. She's live streaming. So she's on her job when she's just walking around. And she's with other streamers and industry events. So where would she even encounter a guy? And where would a guy that's just making $100K even encounter her? What is he going to do? DM her? Okay, yeah, DM her in the midst of No Cap and all of these other dudes that are, including Trippie Redd, that are offering her flights to all of these different destinations. So even if she's not lying in that, yeah, she doesn't mind that, she would never encounter that guy unless he's in her industry in some capacity or another. So that's where the whole, like, oh, her clarifying it doesn't, it takes away from the fact that, yeah, she was mischaracterized for what she did not say, for what her homegirl said, but it still doesn't change the fact that, yeah, her options that she's going to want to explore are the guys that are throwing her crazy stuff or that are in her industry that may benefit her. Now, when they start talking about the escorting stuff, that's where it gets interesting. Now, when she talks about she went on the trip, she can't explain why she was there. She was there to stream. I don't know if she just thinks that these people are inviting her because she's cool, because she would actually think that. A lot of them do think that. But she's like, yeah, you see, I was out there to stream. And it's like, were you really? But it all comes down to what is escorting. And if we go to escorting, it is paying for the person's time, right? So it's like, hey, I'm going to dinner today. Do you want to accompany me? Not only is the person paying for dinner, but they are also paying for the time that would be spent at dinner. And then if quote unquote something, it's kind of like used as a legal loophole, but if something happens after that, then something happened, but it's not guaranteed and it's not part of what you're paying for. Now, unless Summyah was directly handed money, sent money, wired money, or perhaps in the situation that 6ix9ine has done, had something bought for her in exchange for her time, like, yo, I'll buy you a Birkin if you come out here, then no, she's 100% not an escort. If she just so happens to get cracked by Trippie Redd, that's more of like a transactional relationship than it is her being an escort. And that's why it's not that I don't like the label, I just don't think that the label is accurate. So she quickly deflects, and Akademiks goes on talking about his own experience where he's saying, like, yeah, I flew out like 7 chicks to Turks with me on a private jet, and they did. Now, the question is, for Akademiks, do you consider those chicks escorts? The chicks that you flew out? And if he says no, then that means that she's not an escort, because she's lit, actually, and she's actually taking the benefit. This is also why, I don't want to say we want to give her respect, but back in the day, an Amber Rose, who's the other chick, Black China, etc., they weren't trying to do anything to generate income. They were just hanging around these dudes. They throw them cash. She's at least was already a streamer, mind you, and we're going to get into that streaming clip. So she's leveraging these offers that she's getting from these guys while she's young and using it for content for her streaming. Now, whether it's guys watching her, whether it's females watching her, it doesn't matter. She's leveraging all of this into something that is uniquely hers, which is her audience. So you got to at least give her some level of credit for that, if nothing else. Now, do I think that she's giving it up? Yes, I do think that she's giving it up. Because you got to think, she grew up on Trippie Redd. She probably grew up on most of these rappers. And there is an element of Akademiks knows more than he's leading on. So he knows that these dudes cracked her, and he doesn't want to say that, and she doesn't want to deny that it happened. But this is how it would work, because all these rappers talk to each other. So if she gets flown out by Trippie Redd, and let's say she wasn't going, as they would call it, they would send that message out. And they'll be like, yo, this chick just finessed me. Do not fly her out. Do not do anything with her. And then she would kind of end up on like a little bit of a blacklist. That's why you see certain chicks that get cycled through, because they're like, yeah, you can trust this chick, as in like, yeah, she's gonna put out, or whatever you want to call it. She's gonna do what you expect her to do when you invest a certain sum into the experience that you're having together. We also got to take into consideration that Trippie Redd does not want to fly with just his homies with no chicks on a private jet to Turks. They want chicks. And how are they going to get them? Are they going to bring their girlfriends? Well, he's single. Probably not. So how are the chicks going to end up there? Now, if the chicks end up there, are they escorts? Because they got invited by somebody that wanted them to be there? This is where it gets complicated. That's why the definition is the simplest one. She was paid. Was she directly paid to be there? If not, then definition-wise, yeah, she's not an escort. Now, there's a bunch of like things that are expected and implicit, but this is where we get into Diddy activities. This is why I think this is such a dangerous can of worms to open up. But she ramps it up even more, and they start arguing. And I'm gonna play you guys that clip right now.
Oh, Akademiks, shut your fat ass up, bro. You keep talking shit. Stop talking shit, you gummy bear looking at. You keep talking shit. Stop talking shit.
We know you for literally a rapper. That's why we know you. So we're gonna post your anniversary from
you
getting
know me
introduced
from the no cap
to being
situation.
on the
That's
track.
fine. That's fine. You can know me from that. That's fine.
And then we're gonna post the anniversary of you getting a turn.
But listen, I am a streamer. Don't try to downplay me.
I know you
out here and I get my clips and I do my little shit. Don't ever try to do that to streaming you and all that. Don't give a don't downplay shit I got going on. All you do is sit your fat up on this internet eating your potato chips and talk about the next.
Wait, is that the one that was going?
You making your money though. You making your money though. But you also paying the. Nobody want to genuinely fuck with you. Nobody like, around you genuinely want to be around you. Listen, I done heard talk about you, bro. They don't fuck with you.
Okay, by your definition, Trippie paid to you then, because
me. So no, stop trying to spin this narrative. Yeah, listen,
so you paid to not. Wait.
Because now this is a joke to me.
Wait.
So nobody, all you do is sit in the chair a lot.
Yes or no?
I want you to get up here and talk about your own shit you got going on this internet.
Okay, cool. So he paid to not you then. So you're saying he bought the jet, he did all this, and still didn't.
No,
so that's even worse.
Already been playing. He just asked me to come. Ain't nobody had to do shit. Stop trying to pin a narrative against another person in me. Stop trying to pin a narrative against the next. Worry about yourself.
I'm going with
logic. Can you see your? Because you acting like you can't.
Okay, ma'am, I'm going with logic here. You said
you ain't going with logic. That's not logic. That's your dumb brain.
So when I said when I said I put girls on a private jet, you said, well, you paid to.
I don't care who you have to put girls on a private jet to because look at you.
Wait. Trippie
nobody fucks with you. Nobody fucks with you, bro.
None of what you're saying is gonna hit hard because I'm hitting you with facts.
It doesn't matter because I already answered your questions and now I'm seeing the kind of narrative, the kind of you is, bro. I'm like, all right. He said he thought I said the little 100K Let me get on this phone and say that. You, like, come on, bro.
Yeah,
This
listen,
promoted.
ma'am. I'm telling you the facts that you, again, I'm not trying to dogpile on you. I get it. You're young. You're still figuring shit out. But I'm telling you, you think that these people are inviting you around just for you to stream? No, they're having active conversation. Yo.
See, this is where she's kind of got a point. Like she says, like I said earlier, she's over here talking about, like, yeah, I'm streaming. I'm doing my own. It's a funny clip. Like, I've been to stream review and all that. Like, it's a rite of passage to actually make it. But Akademiks is also correct in that the only reason that we know her, the only reason that I know her is because of that Floyd Mayweather and No Cap situation. It's like where she kind of intersected with hip hop. Other than that, she would be in her own, like, little world. I don't know how big she is as a streamer. Yeah, so I wouldn't really know too much about that. But what she is saying is, like, she's leveraging what she's got to contribute to her streaming career. She didn't fall back on streaming either. This is how you know, like, if she just got into a relationship and was having stuff spent on her and was unmotivated and that's all she was after, her streaming schedule would fall off. But that does not seem to be the case. She's still been grinding. And she was saying that she didn't get cracked by whoever at the Trippie Redd trip, which now she can't. This makes Trippie Redd look crazy because now people are going to say, man, you spent all that bread, flew her out, and nothing happened? That's crazy. So this goes all into Diddy game, and this is such an old thing. Like, a rich dude with a giant yacht or a rich and lit rapper, they want young, hot chicks around them. And young, hot chicks want this experience. So they just pair them together. Now they're kind of calling it escorting, but that's if they get paid for it. But otherwise, they're only going to be on a boat with, their wife and the other people's girlfriends. That's the only other option. If he wants a bunch of single chicks there, the offer that's being made to bring them there is not, oh yeah, this guy's like really fun and chill. It's like, hey, or maybe yeah, this guy's really fun and chill, but there's also a jet involved and this great experience. Now, what it gets into is when they're hiding the guy and that's paying for all of this. And perhaps in Trippie Redd's case, he doesn't want to be public facing and be the one that's out there. Like, he doesn't want to be seen as that guy and doesn't want to be in her content or anything like that, which is understandable. But the funny part is when she starts talking about, like, oh yeah, why don't you post people's birthdays and all that? That would go viral too. No, it wouldn't. Shut up. What is she talking about? Like, yeah, it's Summyah's 21st birthday, guys. Wish her, like, here's some balloons. She's too far in the shade room or whatever that gets posted and that goes viral because nobody really cares about that. However, I do think she is getting accustomed to a lifestyle that may make her choices later on difficult in terms of, like, maybe she wants to settle down or some situation like that because she's so used to just this overstimulation. It's kind of like when I talk about Aiden Ross, like, that guy's kind of numb in that this guy made 50, 100 M's before he was like 22 years old. When you make that much money, it's just everything, and making it quote unquote easily, which is like him gambling, doing anything that takes effort, that makes a significantly lower amount of money. You're not as motivated to do something like that. So for her, I do think this harms her mentally. And Ben Didon actually talked about this too. And I wouldn't say he necessarily defended her, but he gives good perspective on this, which I'm gonna play you guys that clip right now.
I'm taking Summyah out of it. I'm taking like all out of it. I'm taking a real personality out of it. When y'all even will really use to get an experience and be like, I'm not doing shit. And what they're supposed to do, be like, either keep it P and be like, all right, well, you cool. I'm just not going to invite you out no more. I'm not going to invite you no more. Or the gets into it with the bitch and they be like, find your own way home. You can't. Like how I think Lil TJ and Ruby had got into it back in the day. Like that type of gonna buy my flight home, man. Hell no, find your way. Like it be that type of shit going on. Every time be around, y'all might feel like going, but like that shit don't be going on every time, fool. Like if say like any football celebrity y'all know flies out 20, all of them not finna. Some will go for the vibe and experience.
See, so this is the thing. Ben he's talking about, like, for example, like, let's say when these NBA championship celebrations happen, right? And there's, I don't know, 50 chicks, right? And then there's 10 people on the team. Like, some of those chicks are not getting hit, right? Like, some of them, they're like atmosphere models, if you want to call it that. So they went and they just got to enjoy the experience. But if the situation happens that none of them put out, then it becomes like this sour dynamic between the people that invited them. And Akademiks would respond to it and say, escorting doesn't mean effing. It means you understand someone is paying money one way or another to have time with you. What y'all choose to do with that time is your thing. $200K vacation to get someone to hang with you. 99% of rappers and celebs use money to create situations for one-on-one time with women. So what's the difference between that and like a date? Because if you're expected to pay for a date and that person is going to have time with you, is that person an escort now too? No, escorting is when you pay directly for someone's time. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. So he's just trying to like use this terminology, but he would go on and a bunch of different. He said, "Don't ever try to downplay me. I went to Streamer University and all that." Kai Cenat the GOAT for getting everybody to think that's like Harvard or Princeton. He says, "Everyone mad at me for just explaining and putting a name on what we all been seeing happen, that people are bragging about, quote, escort culture. Free vacation, free private jet, free food, free club section, free hotel. This has always been a thing, forever. Social media hates when you call ish exactly what it is." And then he goes on and says, "Women get triggered by names that describe the behavior they partake in rather than the actual behavior. They effing 10 dudes in a month. They get online saying, 'I'm outside.' If you say you're a thought, they mad as F. Same ish. 'I'm outside' equals 'I'm a harlot.'" Sure, but that's different from being an escort. Because it's not like this chick is telling Trippie Redd, like, "Yo, you got to pay me this amount to be there." That's where you get what happened with Kai Cenat. And what else, where these chicks are like, "Yo, here's my request." They send him a request for several $1,000s. It's like, wait, what? What are you sending a request for? That is an escort. Or that is potentially, yeah, that's an escort. Or even like a hooker if you want to take it that far. But what's happening here is something that's always happened. It's like when Drake has a party, he's inviting a bunch of chicks. Is Drake smashing all those chicks? Probably not. But he's like creating an environment, creating a vibe. It's like a club, right? The person's buying the section because, I don't know, they want status within the club. And then it's someone's job to bring chicks to the section, or a promoter or whoever the hell. So I just think throwing this label on her without giving, now if she's getting cracked by every single person, then you can say like, yeah, she's getting around, as in maybe she's a sure, but to say that she's an escort is different, because some hoes just do it for the love of the game. And she was clearly hanging out with No Cap, where she was saying like, this guy wasn't doing anything crazy for her. No Cap isn't like, he doesn't got the bread to be splurging like a Trippie Redd. Floyd Mayweather, for instance, yeah, if she was just an escort, she would have taken the Floyd Mayweather offer, because Floyd would have just been spending and spending and spending. So that's not all that it is. But I do think that, yeah, maybe she's a bad influence, sure, but I don't think that she's doing anything out of the ordinary, to be fair. And I do have a respect for her trying to grind out her own thing consistently, even before she's interacted with these famous dudes. Well, let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. And I'm going to see y'all in the next one.